Well, a New Zealand teenager has died after playing a tackle game linked to the viral Run It Straight challenge. Participants compete in full contact collisions, with the game gaining significant traction on social media. With us now from Auckland is Stacey Mowbray, the CEO of brain injury organisation Headway. Good morning, Stacey.
Kia ora. Good morning, Bridget.
Just awful, tragic news, the loss of a young life here. What's been the reaction there in Aotearoa, New Zealand?
Our hearts are breaking for this young man's family, for his friends, but it should have been an avoidable tragedy. So that's there's also anger here, anger around the targeting of our young people with social media, suggesting that this Run It event is something other than glorified intentional violence. So yeah, we're really angry as well as devastated.
These are private gatherings. They're not sanctioned by anyone. It's not, it's something that has emerged from an online trend. Can you explain it a little bit more for us?
Yeah, so, there are some organised events where they pit people against each other, encourage them to run as hard as they can, as fast as they can, and smash each other. The event organisers claim that this is some kind of controlled event, that there are safety protocols. We strongly believe that there is no difference between the so-called controlled event and a private backyard event. The risk is the same. The risk is of brain injury and death, and none of these so-called protocols are going to rescue or save anyone from the potential damage.
We've now seen the loss of a young man, just awful news for his friends and family and community. So would you expect that there'll be other people who will be participating, sustaining brain injuries often, regularly during this Run It challenges?
Yeah, we've had two events held here in Auckland. We're really happy that 3 were shut down with the work we and a lot of other people have done. And we've just heard that the next one has been stopped. Our communities have said, no, we don't want it here. What we saw of those organised events was a very high rate of concussion, of knockouts. I believe around 25% of the people participating in the organised event were knocked out. Now, we know with concussions, you don't need a knockout to be concussed. So there will be many other people who potentially have got concussions and won't experience those symptoms for days or possibly weeks. So, it's not just about what we see at the event. There are massive repercussions for this kind of dangerous, just cynical and reckless activity.
How do we raise awareness of the long-term effects of brain injury among young people, but also what are some of the sort of underlying things going on here? You mentioned this culture of violence among young men that we see online. How do we tackle this and raise awareness about the long-term effects of participating in something like this?
Yeah, Bridget, it is a tough one, and I think it's more than just about brain injury. But one, we would say, let's give our young people credit. They're smart. Let's give them the knowledge, the information they need to make informed choices. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding around brain injury. How often we hear it's just a concussion, but every day at Headway we see lives derailed, jobs lost, families destroyed, futures absolutely wiped out. So we just would love to see more education in our schools and in our communities. But we're also calling on those people our young people are going to listen to, those sports stars, league players, rugby players. Where are you? Where are your voices saying this is nothing like rugby, this is nothing like league, this is purely intentional violence, and we're asking them to go on their social media platforms, use their powerful voices for good, and step up and say, stop, run it.